All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers in today's video. So we just saw a report that the expectations are going to be that Russell Wilson has the pole position for the #1 spot for the Steelers quarterback one position, according to head coach Mike Tomlin, heading into OTAs beginning in very soon, actually. And Justin Fields, expect him to get a lot of reps. The Steelers, I'm told, love to get their quarterback reps, sometimes with their first team, second team, scout team. They're going to move Fields all over to get him a lot of throws early on. Jeremy Fowler with ESPN said on SportsCenter. And so, it's May 18th, and Pittsburgh technically doesn't have like a, more solidified wide receiver too, but I do want to talk about a couple of things regarding Justin Fields, regarding the Pittsburgh Steelers offense in general, because, folks, when you take a look at the Pittsburgh Steelers offseason in general, you picked up Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, right? You picked up Patrick Queen, Dante Jackson, Quez Watkins, Dean Lowry, Deshaun Elliott, Van Jefferson, Montravius Adams, just to name a few, Troy Fautanu, Zach Frazier, Roman Wilson, Peyton Wilson, Ryan Watts, many more in the draft. And when we look at the departures, they really didn't lose much, especially on the defensive side of things. The only real big loss offensively was Deontay Johnson. So key departures would be Kenny Pickett, Deontay Johnson, Mitch Trubisky, James Pierre, Armand Watts, and Michael Walker. So they really didn't lose much. So basically, one thing we've been saying on this channel for so long now is we know the Steelers defense is going to be unbelievable. Like, they were unbelievable last season. They're going to be unbelievable again. They're going to be even better this season. So it's all going to come down to the offense. And everyone's freaking out about Russell Wilson, calling him washed. Justin Fields isn't a quarterback, blah, blah, blah. So I want to talk about some things in today's video. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Steelers fans, you guys are carrying my channel all off season. I seriously love you guys so much. If you could try and get this video to 500 likes, that would mean the absolute world to me. So I'll make this quick. We're just kind of riffing and raffing here on a Saturday afternoon, about to hit a little pop stroke, get ready for tomorrow's golf round. Just really feeling this PGA championship right now. It's going to be an electric finish, and I think I'm going to miss it, neither here nor there. Let's get into it. So the quarterback play. All right, Kenny Pickett, the Steelers traded him to Philadelphia last year, or this past offseason. He threw 13 touchdowns in 25 games. Folks, that's really all you need to know. Russell Wilson threw twice that many in 15 games last year. So you picked up Russell Wilson, you picked up Justin Fields. Well, I like Justin Fields a lot. I love his playmaking ability, but I guarantee you Russell Wilson will be QB1 for majority, if not the entire season, unless he misses a little bit of time due to an injury or whatever. Russell Wilson, 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions last year. Everyone's freaking out because, it's Russell Wilson, and he's getting up there in age, and he's not necessarily, Pro Bowl Russell Wilson, Super Bowl Russell Wilson that we saw in Seattle a couple of years ago. But don't discredit what he did with Denver last year. Now we're seeing all these reports and all these rumors that Sean Payton and Russell Wilson, like, apparently Sean Payton hates the dude. He obviously didn't say that, but apparently he's holding grudges against him. Like, it just kind of seemed Russell Wilson and Sean Payton like it was not a match made in heaven, and it just never clicked personally wise, or I can't think personality wise. There we go. But Arthur Smith was a big addition to Pittsburgh this year, the new offensive coordinator after he fired Matt Canada halfway through last year. And one thing I said a couple of weeks ago in a Steelers video was, take a look at the last, I'm disregarding Arthur Smith's entire tenure with Atlanta because he never had a quarterback, dude. If Marcus Mariota, Desmond Ridder, Taylor Heineke's your starting quarterback, well, it's pretty much the same as having Kenny Pickett as your QB. No disrespect to any of those four, but you get what I'm saying. Russell Wilson is a huge leg up. And Justin Fields, even if he never technically has a snap at quarterback or throws a ball, as QB1, look at a guy like Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill's had about 700 yards from scrimmage the past 2 years. He can throw it, he can catch it, he can run it. I expect Justin Fields to have a very similar outlook this upcoming season as far as production goes. He's certainly going to be used. I'm very curious how he's going to be used, and we're going to learn a little bit more about that as OTAs are beginning very shortly here. So going back to Arthur Smith, well, when we go back to the 2020 Tennessee Titans, they were 11-5. They were first in the AFC South. Unfortunately, they did lose in the first game of the wild card playoffs to the Baltimore Ravens, but they had a really good offense. It was fourth in the NFL. They averaged 30.7 yards per game. And I know what you're wondering. Yeah, Ryan Tannehill was the quarterback. 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 65.5 completion percentage. He only threw for 238 yards per game. And I'll say it right here, right now. I'm expecting a very similar production line from Russell Wilson. 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 240-ish yards per game throwing the ball. I think Russell Wilson with Arthur Smith and this Pittsburgh Steelers offense is going to have a very similar year. One big thing is the rushing game. So Arthur Smith that year, the Tennessee Titans ran the ball for 168.1 yards per game. That was second in the NFL. When we take a look at Pittsburgh this past season, they were 13th in the National Football League, averaging a little over 118 yards per game. Najee Harris' fifth-year contract, rookie contract, his fifth-year option was denied. They rejected it. They didn't pick it up. So he's entering a contract year, and we've already been hearing rumors and rumblings that he is extremely motivated. He's got his diet on wrap, and that he looks good and he looks slimmed down. Najee Harris, if he can give me and by the way, in his first 3 years in the NFL, he's had 1,000 yards each season. He's been a beast. If we can see a similar production line, like 1,200 rushing yards, because in that Tennessee Titans year, Derrick Henry was the running back, and he ran for 126.7 yards per game, and he had over 2,000 rushing yards that season. My point is, Arthur Smith loves to run the football. He loves it. He loves 12 personnel with 2 tight ends. That's where you see Pat Freiermuth come in, Darnell Washington come in, and he loves to run the football. And Jaylen Warren had just under 800 rushing yards last year, and Najee Harris in his rookie season had exactly 1,200. Last year he had a little over 1,000. My point is, even though they don't have a wide receiver 2 as it stands right now, Roman Wilson and George Pickens, Pat Freiermuth, I know he missed a huge chunk of the season. He still played, 12 games? Dude, he had like 300 receiving yards. If I can see a Pat Freiermuth that we saw 2 years ago when he was fully healthy and actually implemented in the offense, because I don't know why on earth he wasn't last year with Matt Canada. If Pat Freiermuth's giving me 700 plus receiving yards, Roman Wilson's giving me 700 plus receiving yards, George Pickens is giving me probably over 1,200, Justin Fields is going to give me, over 500 yards from scrimmage, however they decide to use him. Jaylen Warren, Najee Harris are going to have around 2,000 rushing yards in the season, and Justin Fields and Russell Wilson running the football. I'm beginning to not be as concerned about that offense lacking a solidified wide receiver 2, because with Tennessee, their receiving game, AJ Brown in his second year had just a little over 1,000 receiving yards. Corey Davis had a career year, 984 yards, but after that, it's a couple of tight ends and nothing really else. So I think they'll be just fine. The Tennessee Titans with Ryan freaking Tannehill had the 4th best offense. They put up over 30 yards per game. It's just, I think Arthur Smith got a really bad reputation for his 3 years in Atlanta when he literally didn't have a quarterback. So yeah, I'm really excited about Pittsburgh. We talked about the schedule in the last video, so I won't touch on it. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of the schedule. I'm not afraid of the end. I think Pittsburgh is way better than they were last year, and they still win 10-7 with Kenny Pickett as your starting QB. That's it for today. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. We'll see you soon. But let me know your thoughts on the Steelers offense.